Alright lads and lassies, welcome to 5 weeks before the London Marathon. I didn't post a video last week, you may or may not have noticed, but it's because I'm injured. It's not the thing you want to mention this close to a big event, but when I got back from my big run 2 weeks ago, the last video I posted, my 18 miler, I was fine, I was sore, but I was fine. It was just a standard soreness you would get after a run. Anyway, got home, had some lunch, went for a shower, even had a nap, and then I went out for food for Mother's Day that night. And whilst I was out, I started to get this sharp pain in the side of my left knee, but the pain persisted, and that night when I went to bed I had one of the worst night's sleeps I've had in a very long time, and it was all felt in my knee. Like if my foot was bent, then it was sore. If I leaned on my left side, it was sore because I was hitting the bed. If I leaned on my right side, it was sore because it was hitting my other knee. And really I felt it all the way up to Thursday. I decided not to run on it. I thought it'd be a stupid idea. I was struggling to walk, never mind jog. So I left it till Thursday. Friday I was going to go out for a run, but I went out for my birthday, which was on the Saturday night. I went out with my parents for a meal on the Friday night. Birthday was on the Saturday. And then I decided, right, Sunday I'll go for a run. I haven't felt it in a while. I've rested it. I've probably done the best thing I can do. Went for a run, completely fine. Got to just before 8 miles, and I was coming downhill, and I could feel like my left quad sort of tighten, and I just shook it off or whatever, and I kept on going, and then I could feel my knee. And then it started to get sharp, so I stopped immediately because I read a few forums to say if you feel it, stop, like just stop. So I started walking for a bit, and then I started running again, and it just came straight back. And it took a lot, but I ended up phoning my parents to come and pick me up. It was the one thing I didn't want to do. I was 5 miles away from home, so either they came and picked me up, or I either walked or ran home. Got home, iced it, yeah, and I just got really annoyed. I actually filmed, I filmed the video that week. I filmed when I was on the run, and I filmed when I got back, but when I got back I ranted to camera for about 20 minutes. I think it was around 20 minutes. And yeah, I decided not to post it. So this week I decided not to run on it again because it was just sore. I phoned my physio, went and saw him. He said that it was my IT band, like some band that runs all the way down your thigh, and then it runs down one side, it runs down the other, and then it meets at your knee, and that's why the pain is in your knee or something. Saw him on Thursday, rubbed it out, and it wasn't sore. It wasn't like when I hurt my foot. Then I asked him if it was alright for me to run on it this weekend, and he says if it's fine, go for a run. Just don't push it too hard. So this Sunday I actually did some events which I applied for a long time ago, like I think when I started these videos, so last year. So yeah, roll the clips. Right lads and lassies, welcome to an early, chilly Edinburgh. It's 7:30. I'm freezing, I'm in shorts and a t-shirt. I know I'll regret putting anything else on. Today I've got quite a few events. I've got 2 events, but I'm having to run to and from them. So I stayed at my friend's, and that's 4 miles away from Leith, which is on the coast, which is 4 miles away. And then there I start 8 miles to Murrayfields, which is the national rugby stadium, and then I have to run 2 miles to Princess Street, which is the major shopping street, and then I have to run 6 miles around some garden. But I better get started. I've absolutely no idea where I am. 3 miles in. I can't see the sea yet. There's some water. It's close enough.
I can't see any runners yet. It's a bit worrying, but I must be getting close. I'm 3 miles in, and I told to go left a little.
After distance today, that bus leaves at 8:10, 8:15. The latest, alright? The lead around about
Quite a few folk. Well, I'm number 4,000 in Summit, so there's a fair few, but hopefully I get for the sports release thing in time. But didn't like all this waiting about. I've been here for like 20 minutes and I'm just pacing. That's everyone. That's everyone, we're all friends. We're on this together.
Mind for good cause there they are. Oh, you. Thank you very much.
I'm not in a good place.
And that was it. As you just saw, that was the Kilmathon, which was a 13.1k from Leith, which is on the coast of Edinburgh, to Murrayfield, which is the Scottish national rugby pitch and Edinburgh pitch and stuff. I was actually meant to do another event that day. I was meant to do the Sports Relief 6 mile run. Sports Relief is a charity in the UK. It's all about doing sport to raise money. So the whole plan for the day was I had a total of 20 miles to run that day. I wasn't going to do the 20 miles. I wanted to see how I felt. If I could do it, it was fine. If I didn't, then I wasn't really fussed. But I just did, I was hoping that I was able to do it. So I ran from my friend's flat, which was 4 miles away from Leith. Completely fine. Got to the Kilmathon, got to Leith. I started running. I got about 5 miles in, and my quad started to tense up, and I was like, oh, it's just psychological. Just over 1 mile from the end, I could start to feel my knee. It wasn't sharp, but I could sense it was coming, and I got to the end, and I was like coming into Murrayfield, I was in agony. Yeah, like I even said when I got in that I wasn't in a good place, and I knew at that point that I wasn't going to be able to run the rest. I got outside, decided to stretch. I had plenty of time to get to the Sports Relief 6 miles, and I started to walk again, and I struggled. Them 2 miles to get to Princess Street took me an hour and 15. My knee, like every step was sore, and I stopped that often just to like sort of shake it off. But the problem is I'm not giving myself enough time to rest. What I'm doing is I'm resting for the week, and then I'm doing a stupidly long run at the end of the week. I did 12 yesterday, 12 miles. So this week what I'm going to do is I'm going to rest the entire week, but I'll go swimming and stuff like on forums and in magazines it says to go. It's just really annoying, but because I've got to that stage where it's the last push before the marathon, before I taper, and I can't train. When I got back on the 18-mile run 2 weeks ago, the last video I posted, I was having a look at sub 4 hour marathons and tactics on how to do it, and it was possible. Like I had 7 weeks to go, 5 weeks of proper training. Yeah, it was possible. I could have done a sub 4 hour marathon, but now my focus is just getting better, just being in good shape, as in being able to walk, being able to run. I'm feared that I get to the marathon and it starts to get sore, let's say the half marathon mark, and I've still got to run another half, or I have to pull out. That's the worst possible result. I'd rather get a slower time and do the marathon this year than have to pull out. Hopefully you're not injured, hopefully everything's good, everything's hunky-dory, and yeah, I'll see you at the end of next week. Well, hopefully some good news. Yeah, indeed.